My dear students, previously we have learned in the chapter Combustion and Flame that what is the definition of combustion, what is ignition temperature. Today we are going to perform some activities and we will also learn about inflammable substances. How do we control fire, types of combustion, and also we will learn about flame. Let us perform an activity to understand that different substances have different ignition temperature. Make 2 paper cups by folding a sheet of paper. Fill 50 ml of water in one of the cups. Now heat both the cups separately with a candle. You will observe after some time that the empty paper cup burns quickly while the paper cup containing water does not burn. But it becomes hot because the water in the cup absorbs the heat and distributes it all over the part that holds the water. So, in the presence of water, the cup does not attain its ignition temperature. Hence, it doesn't burn. By this activity, we can conclude that substances having very low ignition temperature can catch fire easily and are therefore called inflammable substances. So let us find out the definition of inflammable substances. The substances which have very low ignition temperature can easily catch fire with a flame are called inflammable substances. Examples of inflammable substances are petrol, alcohol, liquefied petroleum gas, that is the LPG, etc. Next we will learn about how do we control fire. You might have seen or heard of fire breaking out in homes, shops and factories. You might have seen a fire brigade also. Fire brigade pours water on the fire. Water cools the combustible material so that its temperature is brought below its ignition temperature. And this prevents the fire from spreading. Water vapors also surround the combustible materials, helping in cutting off the supply of air, that means the supply of oxygen. So the fire can be extinguished. The conditions necessary for producing fire are fuel, air to supply oxygen, heat to raise the temperature of the fuel beyond its ignition temperature. So fire can be controlled by removing any one or more of these conditions. The most common fire extinguisher is water. But water works only when things like wood and paper are on fire. But water cannot be used if electrical equipments are on fire because water conducts electricity and can harm those who are trying to put out the fire. Water cannot be used to put out oil and petrol fires because they float on water and continue to burn. We can also use carbon dioxide to control fire. So carbon dioxide is the best fire extinguisher to put out fire caused by inflammable materials like oil and petrol and electrical equipments. Carbon dioxide is heavier than air and it covers the fire and cuts off the supply of oxygen and puts out the fire. Carbon dioxide is stored at high pressure as liquid in cylinders. Chemicals like sodium bicarbonate, that is the baking soda, potassium bicarbonate produce carbon dioxide near the fire. This is a fire extinguisher. So it not only forms a blanket around the fire but also brings down the temperature of the fuel. And that is why carbon dioxide is an excellent fire extinguisher. Types of combustion. There are mainly 3 types of combustion. They are rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion and explosion. In rapid combustion, substance burns rapidly and produces heat and light with the help of external heat. Since ignition temperature of petrol and kerosene is very low, it catches fire very quickly. Examples also include the domestic gas, that is the LPG. Next is spontaneous combustion. In this type of combustion, the substance burns spontaneously and produces heat and light without the application of any apparent causes. So, there are some substances which can catch fire on their own when it left exposed to open air. You have already learned in the metal chapter that sodium, when exposed to air, it catches fire spontaneously. And that is why sodium has to be kept immersed in kerosene. So it is an example of spontaneous combustion. Forest fire is also an example of spontaneous combustion. That means in case of spontaneous combustion, substances can unexpectedly burst into flame without any apparent cause or reason. In explosion, a substance burns suddenly and produces heat, light and sound with the help of heat or pressure. Example, explosion of crackers on applying heat or pressure is known as the explosion. Large amount of gas is also produced in the reaction. Next is flame. What do you mean by flame? Flame is the zone of combustion of a combustible substance. Look at the pictures here. Substances which vaporize during burning produce flames like kerosene, wax, etc. Substances which do not vaporize during burning do not produce flames like coal, charcoal, etc. In the table number 6.2, you will find some materials and you have to write whether they form flame or not. Candles form flame. Magnesium burn with bright white flame. Camphor also forms flame. Kerosene stove also forms flame, but charcoal does not form flame. So feel the table number 6.2. This is all for today, students. Read all the topics from this video very carefully. Thank you.